Okay. When Ozzy asked me to speak at TEDx about internet, I thought, okay, why is he not speaking about that? He's the internet guru. But okay, I'm trying to look now one step forward. And when he asked about the topic, it was like, okay, I thought, how does it change my life at the moment? And if we take a look at the situation at the moment, we have the problem that so many things are happening at the same time. So I thought, imagine the world 10 years ahead. So then you have a bigger, broader view on what's coming up. And the internet already changed us a lot, but in future it will definitely change us even more. And when the web spreads into all parts of our life, so as you can see here, augmented reality. I just take a photo of somebody. We have it here on his Facebook profile directly. This is definitely coming up, and perhaps not in 10 years, already in 1 or 2 years. So, but in 10 years, we will also have the Internet of Things, which already somebody else was talking about, where also your washing machine has an IP address, and you can start and stop it with your mobile phone. And so all of your machines will have a more or less identity, more or less intellectual or not. And the question is now, what's happening with your identity? So at the moment, you're shaped by all these things around you, by your kids, your family, and your workplace. But today, you can also see the first changes on the web. So you develop your identity when public. So you have all these different kinds of profiles on the web. And now the question is, well, what's happening with them? So we have multiple identities in the real-life web. But as Sina just talked about, we also have these in the second live web, or even on gaming, like World of Warcraft. We have the second life, where you also have real currencies. We have these Asian stuff where you have a mixture between your normal picture and then more or less game. That's Cyberworld from Korea. And did you ever think why you are doing this stuff? Does it make sense, or where does it lead to in the end, this kind of position? So Ibo just already had the guy who was standing at least with a mobile phone. So perhaps we have the chance to at least walk. So who is defining your identity? Is it you? Is it your surroundings? Is it where you are a member of this group? And in your analog life, it's more or less easier. Okay, we have here a problem with Microsoft. So in your analog life, you will not have any problems with Microsoft, perhaps in some years when they're coming to your car and garage and this kind of stuff. But in your analog life, you're sometimes a neighbor, you're a professional bus driver, you're having kids, and you're a father. But in the digital world, you have a new identity every day. So it's not staying one identity. So you can just register on any social network every day on a game, and you give yourself different names, you do different kinds of stuff. And the digital world is moving you every minute. So it's depending on if you want to do that steps, or is somebody else, like already this was said, like somebody's posting on your wall all the time, so they are shaping your identity. And so you have profiles on Facebook, you have them on StudiVZ, you have a Twitter profile, you have a Foursquare profile, so on Flickr, on Second Life, or even on YouPorn. So it's also depending what you want to do. So innovation, in the end, changed your identity in the last years. So what will happening in the next years is then the web has changed to total openness. So you're not anonymized anymore. There was no anonymization in the web. It was never thought about this. It just started like this. And if you see these kind of pictures where you're drunk on Facebook, if you're not deleting them, somebody else is uploading the next album the next Saturday. And the problem is not that you were at a party. Nearly everybody was at parties in the last weeks. So, but the problem is that it's stored in massive databases, like these 400 million data centers of Google, Facebook, and everybody else is just building up some stuff. I think in Frankfurt are most of the German ones. But now when it comes to real-time identity, it's not only your Facebook profile there and your analog life there, it's a mixture. So if you can install, I think it's called Layer, That's a company for augmented reality, and they combine this real-time identity where you can just see on the radar where all of your friends are just on this place logged in, and you can just check who's online, who's telling you what. So you have some kind of life behind the real life here where somebody's commenting what I'm just talking about. And you get identified nearly everywhere. It's not only by other people, it's also by the state, by legislation, by secret services. As you all know these stories from the NSA stuff that they're reading every email. And Google is checking where you're living, making a picture of your house. You have this kind of dynamic personalization, which is just coming up. So in several conferences last year, they were talking about that you can personalize your websites and your web profiles with this kind of Facebook Connect button. It means you click here on normal abc.com page or on a newspaper page, log in with Facebook Connect, then they grab all your data, and then they can personalize the news for you. This can be good because you have so many information on one place to structure it, but it can also be bad because you don't get the real news, you just get personalized stuff. And even it goes further, Facebook is just introducing this instant personalization where you do not have to log in, it's already personalized. So this is at the moment working with things like Bing, I think TripAdvisor, Yelp, and these kind of nice big brands where you all know that this is okay, but there are who's deciding if it's okay or not, so they can just make a contract with everybody. There's a lot of discussion at the moment, what's happening with your data. But these guys from Silicon Valley never thought about these problems like who's owning the data and these kind of stuff. Already in 1979, the idea was to make something for collaboration and communication. It never was about privacy. It just was about, hey, bring people together, do something together. And they also invented in the beginning the Wayback Machine, like the Internet Archive. So you can go back to nearly every point of the web. Like 1996, we started with the first online shop like Dell. We had the TED page in 1997. We had the Google portal in the beginning, was completely different directory. We had first Google pages, then came the guy, Mark, who wanted to have a new girlfriend and know who's single on Harvard University. And yeah, he ends your privacy, and your privacy is gone since that. So the problem now is completely different, and as it was before. So the Lieschen Müller and John Doe, they were talking about, is this okay or not? So you all know what's happening there, but most of the Germans or people here in the room, it's always like a scary thing. So, and then it comes to the point, who's shaping your digital identity? Is it you, or are you uploading photos every day? So if some employees from US, they're uploading every weekend photos, 20, 30, 50 photos per week, and this is normal. They have 2,000 friends, and this is not average in Germany yet, but it could be like that in some years. And what you can see here, you all know it's a social graph, where you have a mixture of all your friends, and they are shaping your digital identity, and they tell you if it's cool what you're doing or if it's not. You get a like. In Germany, they want a dislike button, but nowhere else. And yeah, the like button is just an invention because they want to target your data. And if you are doing so many spelling mistakes and typing Britney Spears in the wrong kind of thing, and then they can't target the advertising on you. That's why they need these kind of like buttons, and so they can collect your data everywhere. So perhaps I like Radiohead. Now the credit card company knows that I'm perhaps depressed, and so I don't get any credit. So this is not really a joke. So at least I got venture capital, better than a bank credit. Yeah, the thing is really like there's a company called X+1. They are collecting your credit card data where you buy stuff, and then you can say, okay. I just bought a drink with a credit card, but I was not able to pay, so you get a cookie on your PC, and they tell you, okay, don't give him a gold card, he will never pay anything back, so give him a really small debit card or something like that. So this is already happening, so it's not legal in Europe, but they're doing it in US. And then it comes to this strange situation, is it now advantage what we are doing there, or is it really bad thing? And is it a paradigm shift to a better future? I think there are a lot of things which are really good at the moment. The people are coming together, you can share interests with people, But there's also a bad thing. So what's happening if they're selling my data? Who's owning that then? Is it all in their data center? And although if I delete my Facebook profile, it's still there on some backup records or these kind of stuff. So you can never delete anything. Because nobody knows in the end on which kind of CD it's burned. The good things, sometimes you think, okay, it's cool, it's product recognition. You can just make a photo in MediaMarkt, they will tell you what's the price of the CDs on Amazon, but there's also a strange thing called face recognition. This company is built by some former Secret Service guys, programmers from Russia. It's called Feudal. They won a prize at Le Web in Paris some years ago, and they have a really funny video. You have to check it. But what they do is you upload the photo or video, and they just recognize you and tell you who this girl here is on Facebook, what she's just posted, what she's listening to. So they know everything, and they could just implement this kind of software on every device. The company is backed, I think, by BlackBerry and some other AT&T or so, with some venture capital, so they will introduce it sooner or later. Google Goggles is already doing that, but it doesn't allow to do face recognition, although it would be possible. So, did you ever think why you're uploading all that stuff when these kind of people are just doing these strange things with your data? Or do you want to have the advantage? So perhaps they will introduce a new business model, especially the publishers who are running out of money. They think, okay, perhaps you can sign in with these buttons and say, okay, if you don't want to pay for the stuff, just give me your data. I put the advertising on you and collect what you're buying on Amazon, and then you can get the article for free. And so that's kind of a freemium model. You get the article for free, but later you pay with data. That's not something nobody wants. So if you're talking with corporates, they're all thinking about, okay, let's put a cookie on the PC, let's collect all that data, let's do something with it. So in Europe, they're really about anonymization, aggregated data, but in US, they're just asking you, okay, how much is a Facebook profile? I think it's between €1 and €5, depending on the what you have in your profile. So, but Facebook just changed the rules to make some statement here. They changed the rules at the 1st of January that it's not allowed to track data and resell it on data exchanges. So in Europe, we do not have data exchanges, but in US, there are several ones, and you can buy a profile for a second to target the ad for, let's say, 5 cents. And is it good or bad now? I think it's depending on the situation. If you connect to Amazon and they recommend you some cool music, that's okay. If you're having a normal paid newspaper, it will be also okay. But the like button advantage is really a strange thing because you never know what they will do with the data. And the disadvantage will definitely be when some pupils looking for the first job, and then they have these different kinds of lives. So several people who are working in the HR departments are always doing this. And yeah, how do these innovations affect how you're feeling today, what are you doing with the data, and especially how you act tomorrow, because it's becoming more and more data now. I think the end of privacy, which we're already seeing here, gives you at least a chance to be as many identities as you want, as the internet gives you the opportunity to find people for all the interests you have, everything what you want to do, but in the end it stays still you. So, okay, thank you very much.